When you light up, yeah, lights all over
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? This is your boy Train, and we're back on another Sunday of the Transition Talk Show. Appreciate everybody, man, who tunes in faithfully and follow. Anybody who is your first time, please do subscribe, man, and click that bell so every time when we do go live, you'll get that notification. This week we got a two-part phase to the show. We're gonna talk about barbecue and cigars at the lake that we do every year. This is actually our third annual that we're having now. That is for men and bringing men back together and working on manhood. We understand that in our day and time, this is just something that most men did not have a guide into manhood. They went from boy to a man with no true structure. And we're working to heal those things amongst ourselves with one another. So we'll be talking about that. And in this first part, we're going to talk about black love and what is that? What does it look like? So I got in the house with me today, good friend of mine, Carfrey Linwood, and also, man, my engineer, Blue. What's going on, y'all?
What's good? What's good?
Another day in the office, man. Another day in the office. Blue, man, what you got, man?
Man, chilling, man. Just glad to be here. God is good.
Man, we had went over some stuff, man. Me and Blue, we did this before. We kind of like how the setup went, so we're going to do it again. He got some questions that he asked. And as he asked the questions, give the feedback off of it. So, man, we got Carfrey. He going to be in there with us today. And he don't know what... he don't really know what's going on. So the questions and everything is just going to be open. So, man, I hope you guys really do find this enlightening. And also it's something that you can really be able to take forward. So, man, Blue, let's roll with it, man.
Already. Let's start off like this. You said black love, right?
Black love.
Well, let's just talk about this first. Due to the conditions of what's going on right now, do we think that these so-called conditions that we're speaking of, is it reasons for the robberies, the violence, and maybe the core of our betrayal against one another?
Do I feel like the conditions that blacks are going through? Do I feel like it's a reason why we harm one another? In other words,
right? Like the current conditions we have now, including the ones our parents have gone through, our grandparents, the psychological effect it has had on us. Is it the reason why we're so quick to go at each other, or turn to what America would deem as crime?
Yeah. I'm gonna let you start out with that, Fred.
I knew it. Well, first of all, I don't even think it's our culture thing. I just think it's a all around worldly thing, because to be honest, society as a whole, any race, creed, color, or whatever gender, is dealing with the same thing.
But let's keep it
us.
Let's keep it black love.
Okay, so run the question one more time.
All right. So, are blacks, our surrounding conditions, are they the reason why we turn against each other, why we're involved in crime, why we glorify crime, why we're okay with poisoning our own communities?
I could say yes. I think it's what we're being fed, especially in the generation today. In the generation now, is what they're being fed. You look back on our lives a little bit younger. We had leaders. we had actually key figures in our lives that were kind of steering us the right way, whether they were political figures or predominant athletes that, were role models. I think now the more gangster, the more ratchet, the more accepted. And I just think that there's a lack of parenting. There's just a lack of accountability, first of all. So you lack accountability. Of course, you're going to have to find somebody else to point the finger at because you're not accountable for it. So to answer the question, yes, I think it's the things that are around us that are spearheading some of the most negative things that are going on with our culture and our people as a whole.
I kind of have a different outlook on that, man.
Run it.
I don't blame the conditions. The conditions are gonna be what they're gonna be no matter what.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can't pinpoint how the wind gonna blow.
Right.
But you can, say how you're gonna stand through it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I believe that it's more of an individual base. I believe that and what he said in talking about black love, right? I think that there's a lack of love for myself. I think that, and I say that because how many genuinely know their self? How many actually are conscious of who they naturally are within themselves?
Right.
And they love that.
Right.
See, and I say this because I had to learn to accept every aspect of me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like most people, and it's funny because when most people come on the shows and everything like that, they quick to say, Train, hey man, I'm proud of where you are now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm proud of where I'm at now, right?
Right.
But I'm proud I went through what I went through too.
Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm happy with all of me, not some of me.
Correct.
Because without what I went through, I was saying before the show went on, bro, I had a real releasing today. Like I had to just let everything go because it's tedious doing this work. It's tedious, man, to be a supporter of others.
Right.
Especially when you do a lot of not willing to support themselves or even support one another, right?
Correct.
So it's tedious in being able to naturally do this. But what gives me the strength to be able to? Where I came from, what I've been through, what I've done. I can always look at that to give me the power to be able to do this better. You get what I'm saying? So it's being able to naturally be able to see me,
right,
naturally be able to love all of me, because I also understand a lot of what I was is what I see. Right?
Right.
And what I have to be able to support.
Because you can identify with
and
it.
be an example, right?
Right.
So for me, it's not the conditions, because I went through the conditions too.
Yeah.
It's you.
And I have to agree with that, because if you looking at self first, sweeping around your own yard, if you honestly be honest with yourself, whether or not you truly genuinely love yourself.
Yeah.
There's no social media validation that can suppress or help that.
Yeah.
You have to have that within.
But I'm gonna be $1 with you, right? I gotta be real. Most people gonna say I do.
What?
I do love myself. Oh, I love me. But
to a certain degree.
Just listen to me. Just hear me out.
Go ahead.
That same individual, what's the percentage of time that they naturally give themselves compared to the percentage of time that they give social media, they give their job,
right,
they give their spouses, they give their children, they give their siblings? You get what I'm saying?
Correct.
What is the percentage that you give yourself compared to what you give your other? Now you tell me you love you.
Right.
What's the percentage of time that you're looking at something else, occupying your moments, then you taking the time and looking at yourself, or even talking to yourself?
It's far and in between, bro. A lot of people.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, a lot of people go to bed.
That's what I'm saying.
Not even, you burned a whole 24, and out of that 24, you probably never even given yourself yourself any you time, to not even to just breathe and be you.
And then, and the crazy thing is, I'm gonna ask a question, because Blue opened it up. So I'm just gonna ask, how do you feel about black love?
I don't
answer that too, Blue.
I don't even think people know what it is. I don't even think people know what it is, because I don't think people, like you said, let's first and foremost call a spade a spade.
Right.
You can't really give something that you can't even identify with. Like, if you don't even love yourself, you can't possibly love anybody else.
Yeah.
It has to start with you first. So I think a lot of people clearly don't know what it is, what it looks like, can't even identify with it. So they create their own, I guess, their own perception of what it looks like, not only in the spiritual, but in the physical, with them, how they dress, how they carry themselves. Man, just honestly, man, we see it more, and we talk about this on our show also, that you see it mostly on social media now, because that is the engine, that is the wave, that's where everybody is. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. In the beginning, when those outlets first came out, it was kind of cool to be fake, but now, because it's such the wave, people will hop on there and totally be them every single day. And some of the stuff you see, you might cringe a little bit. Some stuff you just like knock it off, but these are genuinely who they are. And there's a level of wanting to be accepted. Them likes, them hearts, them comments is validation, right, to be accepted. So in a lot of people's eyes, bro, that's a form of love. And to them it is. I think a lot of us just in the black community have never really truly seen it in its purest form. I think I told you that once before, that when it comes to, and we being transparent, right? This is what this show is about. Right. So I should be able to throw myself under the gauntlet and be true, right? Right. The love that I'm looking for in a relationship, right, is one that I want to break generational curses from what I've seen. I feel like, I haven't truly saw it in the form that it's supposed to be, in the proper context. So I'm like, okay, I saw some domestic stuff here. I saw some, infidelities here. I know that's not cool. So I'm going to reroute this thing and try to figure out if it's supposed to look like this. Right. So growing up trying to identify with what true love is, it's like you have to figure it out yourself. I think, like you said, bro, the bottom line, it starts within. Right. And I don't think us as a people have truly mastered that. Or we don't even know what it looks like, so we can't identify with it, bro.
What's the input on there, Blue?
I agree. I think, like we were talking before the show started, and the reason why I said what I said is because the love, we talking black here, so what I'm saying, I love my people, you know what I'm saying, but at the same time, when you look at how other races bond or how they stick together with certain traditions, we are quick to lay down those values, those morals, this type of bonding love for ill-gotten gains, things that don't really matter. Right. I don't know where that mentality started. I'm a hip-hop head. I love hip-hop. I know where the idea of flexing money came from. Right. But just the idea as a whole for a culture, no, I don't know how we just got so lost in that to where we're so self-centered, because that's what it just developed. It developed a self-centeredness to where love can't blossom. It's only a self-centered approach to anything, and how is that love when love is selfless?
Man, that's true. I think one of the biggest things, man, is that what you went back and you said, just from old, it was just something that it didn't have a true identity about it. But I also believe that that's a good thing too, because it's individualized, and we don't individualize it. We don't put it on us. Right. You get what I'm saying? Right. When you spoke about what I see as far in a relationship, you know what I mean? So for me, I was just sitting up, man, in service today, right? And man, I told myself, I said, man, when I was young, I don't think I never thought about sitting on one row, and you know what I mean, me and my partner and kids is all on one row. Because me growing up, you know, it was my grandmother who took us to church.
Right.
It wasn't something that, you know, I saw. And then, you know, when one of my parents it was just my mother.
Just one, yeah.
So it wasn't a family setting or anything like that, you know. So what happens is, because I chose to do work within on me.
The key word, you chose.
Yeah.
You chose.
Yeah.
So, not to cut you off, but think about what you said. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, brother. At one point in my life, when I didn't see the that in church, like you said, I knew I wanted that.
Right.
One day. Because I didn't see it, I knew I wanted that.
Right.
Because, like you said, the whole idea of the church, you know, it was your grandmother that took all of y'all, but now here you are with a partner and children all on the same row. It's something that you wouldn't have fathomed a long time ago, but it was something in you then that knew that if you ever had the opportunity to have a family, that's how you wanted it to be.
Yeah.
So you it was your choice.
Yeah.
And it was always embedded in you to want that, bro.
Yeah.
You went against the grain of what in the generational flow of your family.
And it wasn't even going against the grain, you know. And man, welcome to the show, Pastor Kevin Harris. And it wasn't really going against the grain. It was actually just finding my own lane. It was actually choosing to realize that I'm no longer connected to no umbilical cords in life. I'm not attached to anything. So the thing that I needed to be attached to was something higher than me to learn me, and then to be able to have an offering of that, right? See, now when you start talking about black love, then you have to understand orders. There was order around love, but that order was only given to one being, and that was man. Wasn't given to woman, wasn't given to children. So if love ever is going to be identified properly, it has to be identified within the man. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
God told the man to love the woman. But and I really believe, like, I don't believe that God is a consciousness of stupidity. You get what I'm saying? Because understanding that a man is in just regular operation, you have to be a man that has good, strong principles, not good, strong emotions.
Yeah.
You have to be emotionally intact, but you have to be strong within principle, right?
Yeah.
That way you're unwavering in love. A female, you can't, because it's just the mold.
Because
of the mold, it wasn't meant to carry out those principles.
It's gonna be a lot of emotion.
You get what I'm saying?
And you ain't gonna know what you're getting.
You're not putting love in the emotional bank.
Nah.
You get what? But you see how it got twisted. For so many years now, man. You have had so many men trying to find his way back into. So that's a lot of absence of loving beings out of place. So now that it's out of place, what love gonna look like?
Right.
What is it gonna be? Now you got women chasing or wanting, desiring, you know what I mean? Because everything is out of context.
Yeah, bro. These women is proposing to men now.
So how does black love work when the operators of it
out of pocket? Yeah.
It's out of whack. That's just hey man, that's my take on it, you know. Hey, y'all want to call in, y'all can call in. The number is 469-708-8609. Again, 469-708-8609. We're talking about black love in the black community and what does that really look like. We're going to go to our first video and we're going to come back and then we're going to let Pastor Kevin step in.
Video shot by Big. When I'm spitting what I'm living, he gonna show you so you feel it.
Respect the name. Fifth floor, I'm hustling, man. Every day I'm with it. Grinding hard like I get it. Whole team, we flexing. on your neck, I'm pressing. Then we dropping out here. Haters hate how we live. Get the cash. Sweet game, we chase the bag. Not just music, this real life. I ain't tripping on no price. Camera got me taking flights. Camera got me rocking flights. Shawty wants me for 3 nights, but all I wanna do is stack my money to the top. Foreign car, drop top. Biggest house on my block. Never would my grind stop. Blue Jays, I got a cup. All I wanna
Do is go get money like an armored truck. Ride clean, sip lean, and keep them crumbling Zaza blunts. Side piece, low key. Love when I drive cause she suck me up. Really get live after 2 or 3 cups. So the Snoop Dogg wine, she drunk as fuck. Got off my ass, got the bag. Watch me as I'm running up. I'm stacking cash, moving fast. Grindaholic to sum it up. Always ballin', stay too turned up. No more starving, on God we trust. Yeah, I'm solid, running bullshit up. Pimp on bar, we got me
all I
fucked
wanna
up.
do is stack my money to the top. Foreign car, drop top. Biggest house on my block. Never would my grind stop. Blue Jays, I got a cup. All I wanna.
On a mission, I got to get it. Hustling's big business. Running for a multi-million. I put my all in it. We win it. Going hard.
Lights all over.
We back on the Trainsition Talk Show. I have my guest in the house, Carfrey Linwood, Pastor Kevin Harris, and man, my engineer Blue. All right, man, we was as the break was going on, man, it just opened up. So man, we're gonna keep it going, man. But now keep the flow, Frey, man. Let us know what you were saying.
I was going back to what Blue was saying as far as like how come with other cultures they have a united front. They operate united, but we don't. It's like we go against one another. And I was saying it's because if you go back to even slavery times, we've always as a people have had to fight to obtain some type of normalcy or some type of level of being equal to. So because of that, it has just snowballed, and up until now, we constantly fight because that's all we had to do. We've had to fight for rights. We've had to fight for just to have a name here. And because we've had to fight, that's in our DNA, is to fight. But to the point till we don't even know.
Is that truly in our DNA? And I'm gonna say why. That's something that was embedded into, but it's not innately into.
Well,
so what innately into, I believe, is civilized.
I think the fact that we don't have history. We don't have, like every other ethnicity has something that they can go back and say, I came out of this. I came from this. We have been disconnected from, you know what I'm saying, generations, and we don't have nothing to go back on. So right. When you don't have nothing to stand on, you don't have any identity, you know what I'm saying? So what does it really mean to come together as black people when all we got is skin color? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
But when you have morals, principles that you could say that was founded on, and you can go back and name your generations of, you know what I'm saying? That's like, it's substance to that. So when the fact that they robbed us of that, and we had to fight, and we never, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even when you think about segregation and all of that, before that, prior to that, we was coming into our own.
The crazy
and they
thing,
blew that up again.
The crazy thing is that I'm big on ownership.
Absolutely.
So I don't believe no one did nothing. I did it all.
Right.
And I'm gonna say that because I look at the respect and the disrespect that we have to ourselves.
Yeah.
So what I mean, kids only want to hang with kids until they want to be nosing and being grown folk business.
Right.
Grown folk only want to talk with grown folk, don't want nothing to do with no kids, right?
Right.
Elderly only talking with the elderly, but the grown folk just check on them, but don't really spend no time with them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nor are the elderly able to really spend time with these children, right?
Right.
You see the separation, but you see how the history is not shared,
Right.
Because we're not trying to know one another.
Right.
There was you got to understand this, man. If you got a grandmother at our age, right, and you got a grandmother out here, you got at least close to a century of history. Yeah. Am I communicating with it?
Right.
Am I asking the questions about it? Right. No,
Because we think we already know.
Ain't nobody robbing me but me. So when you start asking, are the conditions robbing us? No. You're robbing yourself for playing in the condition.
But see, a lot of it comes from you don't even know to do that. Like, you had to go out and forge your own path to learn to do that. You see what I'm saying?
But also, to my extent, right?
Yeah.
It was being in prison and losing my grandmother, physically while I was in prison.
Yeah.
And true story. When I came home, I could have easily went to a grave site, but that wasn't subduing me. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
It wasn't until 10 years after me being home from prison, and in an illicit dream, my grandmother visited me. Vividly to this day, I can tell you everything that happened because it was as real as being here.
Right.
And my grandmother asked me a particular question. She said, "Tron, why you don't love your family?" My response was, "They don't know how to be family." And her response to me was, "All you have to do is just love them." From that moment and waking up from that, I was on a quest to learn how to love.
Right.
And it made me look at me.
Absolutely.
I was the one who they didn't want to be around. I was the one who they was afraid of. You get what I'm saying? I was the one who called myself an outcast, a black sheep. I was the one who made it to where we couldn't connect. You see what I'm saying? So it was me, and I had to really get real with me. It wasn't that they couldn't be family; I couldn't be.
Right.
I had to be real with that with myself.
Yeah.
So when I began to be real with that with myself, then I began, and understand at this time there's a lot going on in the world. This is at a time when Barack was coming out of office. So you can understand the timeline, the time frame, right?
Right.
So, and in this time, I was denouncing my citizenship. But he passed a law that whatever you are, and a lot of people don't know these things, but whatever you are, whatever you consider to be by your birth certificate, that's what you are now. It ain't no going back and I can say, well, I'm native or indigenous or anything like that.
Who did that?
Barack Obama.
Oh, I just wanted you to say it again.
Yeah, I say it again.
Man.
But but you know what I mean. But in on this journey, you get what I'm saying. I did a lot of soul searching for myself, and in the midst of that, I found out so much about me. But I also found out so much about my family that was different from what history was saying.
So the question will be then, do you believe that Kanye West was correct in saying slavery was a choice?
To a degree, I believe that. I believe. I'm gonna show. This me.
I understand what he was trying to say.
Yeah, I understand what he was.
This
I don't
me.
think it
This
was a
me
choice.
too, right here, bro.
Yeah.
If you whatever you so much focus or fixated on will be.
Right.
Okay, like I work with a job, that the focus is violence. If you put focus on violence, you're gonna get violence, right? If you put focus on slavery, you're gonna be enslaved. Even now, somehow, some way.
Right.
I never was there. Now understand what I'm finna say, right? I never was there. And from the tracking of almost 200 years, my people wasn't there.
Right.
Right? So what is slavery? Outside of a conditioning.
Yeah. Can I say this, bro? So I was having a conversation, dialogue with somebody, and just like you're saying, it's your mindset. We have been told so much. It's just like a dinosaur. Like, there's no human that was walking around that saw this animal. So you see where I'm going?
Yeah.
Who is Harriet Tubman? Like, literally, there's nobody alive that can tell you this lady's history.
Yeah.
I just think that we needed a mythical hero
Yeah.
in those slavery times to give us some kind of comfort that we made it through that.
They're like a power bunny.
Right. There's nobody that's that lady's age that has sat down with any historian and said, hey, when we was little, we played here, we did that. Who told y'all that she freed them people and shot the, said, there's no history of any human. But I just think we needed, so we wouldn't be so uptight going on in life. We needed a hero to say, hey, there was somebody that got us out of there.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of where I stand on it. Like you said, there's nobody within our lineage that can really just. My grandmother, great grandmother, was probably a sharecropper, but she wasn't a slave, you know. So I just think sometimes they have to feed us this stuff so we won't be that angry. We're angry enough.
Yeah.
So it's like,
But
So,
go ahead.
No, I was just saying. So you think them, as just say, making a story about Harriman Tubman makes us. What do you think they? I mean, what do they gain by making that story? You saying if it's made up or whatever?
It was so we won't be that angry.
Or more so, I see where you're going. Propaganda controls,
Right?
Like in the early in World War I, they influenced the middle class Americans to let their sons basically be a part of this draft because it was all new.
Right.
And when their sons came back with all that yellow gas that they had out there and they was all deformed and things, the next time the draft came around, it was more of a fight.
Right.
Well, it was due to the propaganda, kind of like the crack era. You
Right.
know, not to put myself out there, but I have family members that participated in that drug, and they were very close to me.
It's one and
Right.
Everybody
Right.
knows
They
somebody
didn't know what they were
dabbled with
taking.
that.
They thought that was just something, you know what I'm saying, to get
Right.
popping at the club. Like,
Right.
you know,
Right.
they didn't realize the effects that it would be.
Right.
But that was because of propaganda, the street propaganda at the time. Oh, this new drug. Y'all. You know, they sold people on it. And once you sell a person, it's over with. You can't, it's hard to unprogram that mind. You know, so I feel like what he's saying is, propaganda-wise, they use people as pillars. Kind of like, I know Malcolm X is real. I know Martin Luther King is real.
Let's bring,
damn, they got their own streets in every hood. So what did they do to get that?
But
level?
let's bring it up.
You know what I'm saying?
Let's bring it up to speed though. It's no different than your modern day who I look up to today. Listen, this me, and I've said that. You heard me say it for a long time. Any black person who you see on that TV is not your hero.
Absolutely not. That's the problem. That's one of the problems.
And
We
the
don't want
reason
people
why,
that pick athletes.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
rappers
not even,
to be out.
but not
Like,
even.
how
But,
they-
but
that's just
listen,
the
but not
dumbest
even,
thing I ever.
But not even
understand.
athletes. You know what I mean? Just like Barack Obama. You know what I mean?
Don't get me started.
Hey,
Yeah,
bro,
let's just we
It's
call
just-
it a
it's-
spade
we
a
just
spade,
being
bro.
we just
Yeah.
being real. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? These things are done for the black consumer
Right.
because we are the number one consumers.
Yeah.
This is just, come on, man.
They know how to sell us real good, bro.
But
They know how to buy it. You know, they
And
know
the
how to
thing
sell
is because
sell us real good.
The crazy thing is because we do not take the time out personally ourselves to seek for ourselves.
Exactly.
We want something given. We feel like something is owed. We feel like we do.
Right. That's us
we
having to
deserve
fight for
this,
everything.
But then you're
Yes.
not putting in no effort toward what you believe that you naturally deserve.
There it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So now when you come talking about, you know, love and love with us, that's why it's important, I believe, that you do begin to have men, and you know, that's like the importance in going into the part 2.
Yes.
Going into, you know, barbecuing cigars at the lake. And actually, man, working with men and developing that structure of manhood that so many men miss from boy to man. That passage we didn't have.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? There's a lot of men that don't know how to barbecue.
Right.
There's a lot of men that don't know how to change a tire.
Right.
There's a lot of men that don't know how to do the small appliance work around the house.
Right.
Here's a
get what
good
I'm
one
saying?
though. There are a lot of men who don't even know how to embrace other men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've seen so much weird stuff, man, to where it's like, oh, that's not cool to be. You know how it was kind of in your latter days when you go to the store and you see the thugs outside and you speak.
Yeah.
Walk into the store, hey, how you doing, brother?
Yeah.
It was almost like you was a punk or somebody soft
Yeah.
because you spoke.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is this: if you never do learn how to love one another,
There it is. With
and
yourself.
you continuously kill one another, what the women have to produce with?
Right.
Nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
Right.
Object.
You get what I'm saying? But and then you wonder why
That was messing with me. I don't know why.
the emotional basis is twisted within our community, our culture.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So it's like, man, it's important, but we do have to find our way back into what manhood means.
And that's what part 2 is about, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And man, let's go into another video, and we're gonna be back starting with part 2.
But I think it's still.
What's up, dirty baby?
We on their ass like back pockets.
Huh, man?
Yeah.
Plus, you cold.
I got the bread, she got the butter. That one bitch you can't touch us. I got the bread, she got the butter. That one bitch you can't touch us. I got the bread, she got the butter. That one bitch you can't touch us. All the real niggas still rooting for me cause they love when I flex. I just be taking what I want, I never beg for respect. Plus my country conversation always turn to a check. I got a stallion, couldn't settle for that donkey with Shrek. I tried to let you niggas make it, now my foot on your neck. I'm about to lead you to the ledge and push you over the edge. Recognize blue and black, be the flag that I pledge. But I'm married to blood and married, so I match with the red. Hold up right quick, I'ma switch it up. I know you niggas get sick of us. Dirty look good with that butter go. So these bitches be tryna fuck up for us. Hold up right quick, I'ma slow it up. Won't let us in cause we know too much. Pistol right here by my dick and nuts. If you keep fucking my dick, I'ma throw you up. We in our own goddamn lane. And y'all on some sucker shit. Make us shoot up this whole goddamn thing. Nigga, we on some other shit. Steady talking about gang. Well, you know you can't fuck with this. Cause we kicking ass and we taking names. So stay in your lane. I got the bread, she got the butter. That what these bitches can't touch us. I got the bread, she got the butter. That what these bitches can't touch us. I got the bread, she got the butter. That what these bitches can't touch us. I got the bread, she got the butter. That what these bitches can't touch us.
I ain't never stood for no fuck shit and don't jump shit for no change. My integrity can't be compromised. I'm a big dog, I'm a dang. Pick everything from your handshake to your body language gon' speak. If you got beef, bitch, cook it up. Fuck slick dissing with a sneak. Don't let your nigga get you smashed on. Fuck disregarding no pass on. That dry hating gon' get a bloody, put a plug in and put a pad on. Big B's and that's big B's blitz.
It's all over
Oh, really? Husband and wife? Or
They're
just
not
together
married yet,
again?
but they've been together for a while. We back, man, on the Transition Talk Show. I am your host, Train. We're coming into part 2, and we're talking about barbecues and cigars at the lake. This is our 3rd annual, and it's funny how it will entwine with Black Love just as well, because being that this is the third event, you know, both you guys made it to the last one.
Mm-hmm.
But in our retrospect, it started with this guy.
You want me to tell a story?
I
Real
let you
quick?
tell it. Yeah, go ahead.
Real quick. I don't want the kudos, but, you know, it ain't about that, but I will tell. For me, my piece for as long as I was in my early 20s is White Rock Lake. White Rock Lake is my piece. It's where I go pray sometimes. And I have this one particular rock, this one particular area that I go to when I need that peace. And there was some stuff going on where they was revamping it. And so I said, I need to find another spot. So I journeyed around the corner and I found a spot where the sun sets perfect. And man, it's tranquil, it's peaceful. It's really not a lot of people there. They only come out there to watch the sunset. And there's nice little rocks. There's all kind of places to just be at peace. And as I got older, started getting into cigars and whiskey. I bring me a bottle out there, bring me a cigar, and I light it. And man, everything that I was dealing with would go. In my mind, mentally, I was saying, the sun is setting on this day. And it just seemed like as that sun went over the horizon and it got orange until it was out of there, all that stuff that I had in my heart and on my mind was just gone. And one day me and Train was talking, and he called me and he said, where are you at? And I told him where I was, told him the location. He came, and I was sitting there smoking my cigar. I think I even gave you one or something. And we sat there, we smoked our cigars, and we talked from to the sun all the way set. And then he said, you know what? We release so much to one another. And this is something that me and Train been doing for years. No judgment. He tells me, he gets on my case, gives me nuggets, I do the same for him. And he said, brother, you know, we need to make this a thing where all brothers can come out and witness this, because the place is so tranquil and peaceful. Well, the first one he set up, you know, work wouldn't let me go, and I missed it. But I was proud that he saw fit to complete the mission that he and I set out, just talking to one another. And then last year we went, I got to meet you, and man, I think it was more brothers last year than the first time. And I was just like, man, this is awesome. And then the activities that took place, I was like, yo, this is needed in a world right now where men are losing their way. Because, you know, I hear women say, and this is not a bashing session, but I hear women say all the time that they don't feel protected by the black men. But man, by God, man, you look at some of the stuff going on, who's protecting us?
Right.
So now here we are building a safety net where brothers can just come, fall back, let it all out. Be you, transparent, butt naked, honest to God, you. And no judgment, no nothing. We're here to help one another, uplift one another. And it's working.
Yeah.
It's working. It's not for S and giggles. It's not for photo ops on social media. Man, we really doing this. And it's and I can say honestly, Gentleman's Circle, I done missed like the last two, but I know what it's doing for me to drive way out there. It ain't even that far, but to drive there and get those nuggets and be amongst men and say, hey, when I leave here, they not talking about me in the parking lot. I was able to get off my chest what I'm dealing with, because he's a God-fearing man. One, we in a church, brother, and what other sanctuary of peace is that? So the Cigar by the Lake thing, I mean, I am grateful that it's coming to fruition and that it's growing. And I'm looking forward to it this coming up Saturday.
I remember, man, the first two. I was stressed. The first one, mainly because
it was a rush there.
It was a leap of faith.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm
Frey,
like,
you good?
You know, I'm waiting, you know what I mean? Then I'm like, you know what?
Go.
You gotta go.
Mm-hmm.
Or it won't get done. You gotta go. And going through it, man, I'm telling you, even being there, this is when I learned don't have no expectation to be able to enjoy the fruit of labor. You can't have an expectation. You just got to do, right? And it turned out greater than what I had expected, because I had an expectation. You know what I'm saying? The second year, I had no expectation.
No, wow.
None whatsoever. You know, it was just making sure everything got in place, because quite naturally, man, everything that start won't end together. Some things, you know, fall off, you know what I mean? And some things fell out. But one of my greatest things that I do and I place into the universe is send me my divine counterparts that I can do this thing better, called life, right? Right. So I have begun to receive greater counterparts. You know what I mean? And it began to just blossom. You know what I mean? And man, shout out to Joseph Thomas, man. You know, from day one, you know, man, he been everything to me. You know what I mean? You know, like I tell people, man, I'm that plus on that battery. I'm that hot wire. You know what I mean? I know me.
Right.
So I need that groundedness for this thing to run smooth, you know. Right. And he's always been that for me, you know what I mean? Yeah. But in coming into this one, I don't feel nothing. You know what I mean? Not in a bad way, but in a free way. You know what I mean? I'm just joyous about it. I'm joyous that, man, to see what happened from faith, a leap of faith, transform into today. You know, and to be able, man, to do. This is what I used to always hear. I don't you mess with them men. You need to leave them dudes alone. And you ain't gonna get through to no men. They too hard-headed, man. They too stuck in their ways. You can't teach an old dog new trick. Everything not to invest into what was shown to me to invest in, right? Yeah. And I began to see different because I am seeing men now loving themselves. but doing it from a sense of wholeness and wellness, not from scorn and bitterness.
Mm.
Right.
And this is what this allow us to do, to be able, man, to go through workshops with each other, you know what I mean, go through activities with each other, but open up a safe space that, man, we can get some things out, and we can have different perspectives now that allow us to see it from a higher point of view here on after. This is what it is all about. And when you begin to do that, and these men begin to now link up, you have a stronger chain of men.
Right.
And these men, I've been able to witness go out and be better.
Yeah.
So we asking ourselves how we do it. We do it first with ourselves. Yeah, I would love to do things, you know, with men and women. But the understanding is, you got to get together. We got to get together.
Right.
We got to first be able to help ourselves before we can join and say that we can help each other.
Right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
We got to quit trying to place rotten apples, man, in a bunch of ripe apples.
Spoil the whole bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll spoil the whole bunch, and that's really as men, that's how we've been operating unknowingly.
Right.
You know what I mean? But now when we're bringing ourselves into a sense of knowing, a sense of awareness and conscious awareness about ourselves, and willing to accept that and see ourselves, then we see ourselves better. And now the better is what we're able to offer. I tell people all the time, look, man, don't never consider me healed. Consider me always healing. Mm-hmm. So therefore, now the only thing that can come out of me is healing.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? Not healed.
Yeah.
Man, one of the things I had to learn about healing. One of the things I had to learn about healing was for Kafre to get out of his way, because I know at one point in my life, I always I hate the word pride, but I pride myself in saying, look, I'm never going to operate in a way that's going to make my people look bad, or my parents, my grandparents, anybody who's ever put stock in me. And I was talking to Coach Fly earlier, and I was just telling him I appreciate everything that you done for all of us. And we were in school, and I was like, I would never ever go against what you taught to make you look bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, dang, we're a product of some of your teachings, and here we are out here doing this, that, and the third. And it's the same way with my grandmother and my uncles and my mother and all of the people, my stepdad, all of the people who came before me that made sure that I had those nuggets. I'm not going to go against the grain and do nothing to. So I've always been the type of person, like, if I'm going to say something out of my mouth, you can cash it. It's going to be law. But I started to, as I grew and matured, it's not law. It's my own thinking. And sometimes that can be warped. Right. And it took a few people to tell me, like, yeah, you got some stuff going on, brother. You need to check that. You need to heal from that before you yada, yada, yada. You need to, and it's not always good. It's not always easy to receive. Right. But when you do, and you go look in that mirror and you have to have that one-on-one with yourself, it helps you. And I can honestly say, by the grace of God, man, I am a totally better man than I was a year ago. Hell, even yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm better.
Yeah.
You know?
It's always about 1%, though. A lot of people want to, that 100%. It overwhelms you. It overtakes you.
Oh, yeah,
you know
bro.
what I mean? But it's why you're always coming up short. When you could have just, I'm going to be 1% better.
Yeah, just kind of relax. Just coast.
You know what I mean? Right. I can be 1% better at something today than I was yesterday.
Yes, sir.
And I can feel better about today because I know I was 1% better.
Absolutely.
Than me trying to reach
take
100%.
on that 90.
You know what I'm saying?
You're going to fall short, man. That's like a person trying to diet tomorrow. Like, I'm giving up everything. I'm going vegan tomorrow. Man, let that steak get the
good look.
You're out of there, you know?
But, man, we're going to go to this last video, then we're going to come back. And when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the experiences that we done had with the barbecue and cigars at the lake. We'll be right back.
I can go far, I can go far, I can go far. Holding my name. I can go far. Many suns, many moons. Seasons change, gray skies turn gray. Everybody gotta live. Everybody gotta die. Same thing to make you laugh. It's the same thing to make you cry. Spent many years in the field, going to war for my name. Many nights got lost in the rain. I can't complain. It wouldn't help anyway. Gotta take the good with the bad. Gotta turn the bad into good. Ain't what it seems, but it should. Hard day living, children dying, fathers leaving, mothers crying, family turning on their own. Baby too weak, be strong. Lady too soft, be hard. Then you gotta finish what you start. Said many sun, many moon, seasons unchanged, gray skies turn blue. Everybody gotta live, everybody gotta die. The same thing to make you laugh, it's the same thing to make you cry. Many sun, many moon, seasons unchanged, gray skies turn blue. Everybody gotta live, everybody gotta die. Same thing to make you laugh, it's the same thing to make you cry. Waiting in the wall, looking for a lead to the other side. Gotta pray hard, when I got God standing on my side, I can go.
Lights all over you.
Yeah, man. All right, we back, man. Forgive my face. I just heard my cowboy a lot, but we good though.
Yeah, we are.
Say, man. Man, but man, some of the experiences, man. You know, you was there.
Mm-hmm.
I remember you had to leave early, but you was there and you stayed for a while. What were some of the things that you can say that you took from last year, from the event?
One was the mirror exercise, and if I can kind of explain that a little bit, we had an opportunity to hold a mirror to ourselves. Like every morning, we wake up, brush our teeth, wash our face, but we never actually do a self-evaluation check. Like speak to ourselves, how you doing? Are you good? You know, and some people might think that's a little crazy, but to actually stand there with that mirror in my hand and talk to myself and encourage myself that, you know, I could do this, I could be better, man. It was kind of life altering, man, to actually look at myself in a way that I hadn't before. I've never encouraged myself that way. So that was one thing. And just to see the conglomerate of men, brother, that a lot of us didn't know each other, but we ended up networking. Some people got each other's numbers and were able to, you know, network and, hey, I know who does this. And when you get true brothers in that setting like that, it works out, man, because you never know who knows who does what. Yeah, right. And with everybody coming there with a genuine spirit, man, I just love to see it. I wish my oldest would have been there last year, but both of them are coming this year, Kyle and Rashad. So to have my boys there to witness that, I love the conglomerate of the brothers coming together, the burning of the pail. That was another exercise that was really, really important. You do these exercises and you take, if you really, really was there with your heart open, you take them and make them a part of your everyday life. And that was one of the things I'm like, this needs to happen often.
Yeah.
And that's the blessing of it.
And the crazy thing is, like the mirror reflection, we started with it at the lake, but we transferred it over to the gentleman's circle.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And Kevin, you had an opportunity to do the mirror reflection. Oh, yeah. And, what was it? What did you learn from it?
Man, what's crazy about the mirror reflection for me is just how uncomfortable it makes you. I'm going to say, for me, I was uncomfortable. And the thought of, why am I uncomfortable encouraging myself?
Yep.
Why am I uncomfortable telling myself that I love myself? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, it just really, like you said, it was like life altering. Like and ever since from the time that I looked in that mirror and done that, my view and perception of things has been different. Because now that love is going in first, then out. Right. Versus just going straight out. And so because I'm loving in first, I'm never running out. So if stuff walk away, stuff leaves, love is still there.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So for me, man, it was definitely life changing. Just that.
And even and this year, you know, we ain't giving up no surprises. But, you know, we have more that we are doing to allow us to open up and express ourselves with ourselves better, right?
Right.
But the burning of the pill, because you mentioned the burning of the pill, they showed a picture of it. The thing about that, man, is I took that from something that was called Kairos when I was in prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
But right before I came home, and see, the last time I got incarcerated, I really felt like that was some BS.
Right.
You know, and what I had to do to get this minimal time, I felt like was more BS.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I really had, I had to pull an act on my family. That my family wasn't, if they had to testify, they couldn't testify against me in a way that can hinder me because they didn't really know. Because I played the role for 2 years.
Mm.
You understand what I'm saying? So, but what I learned with the burning of the pill is to dig deep, for one. Because finding 5 things that I know, you know what I mean, that I need to let go of to free me in my life, I have to really think about that. I have to really give me now some thought. What do I need to release? What do I need to let go of?
Yeah.
What do I need to burn and watch, you know what I mean, burn away?
Yeah.
After doing that, it's the acceptance of saying it's gone.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? And what it did when I did it, I was able to come home, man, and places that I had true rage towards, anger towards, hatred towards, I was able to go back and say, I apologize, even when I didn't feel like I had nothing to apologize about.
Right.
But I had the strength to be able to do so because I knew better. See, anytime when it's placed on you and God give it to you, then it's meant for you to do, not what I feel like something else is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what burning of the pill did for me. You know, it allowed me to have the power to truly be able to live and walk from an aspect of those things that I was holding, which is really holding me back, was to release myself and to really live a life feeling more free, even in those surroundings and in those things. You know what I mean? So the event really is something that, you know, presents a sense of wholeness and fun.
Yeah.
You know, so, and that's one thing when we as men, and you know, you got to work, you got to pay them bills. You know, you gotta answer some calls.
Right.
You know, so you do have to have that moment, and you do have to know how to take care of your self-care, and you have to know what self-care means and what that look like. For men, that's not something that the average know. Don't know about self-care, nor what it look like. So to be able to have a moment to where we can share with each other and we can go over these things and teach these things to one another and share these things with each other, even at a time when a lot never been through it before, it's a first-time experience. It's a greater experience for everyone now. You know, and that's what we've been able to create, and to be able to see it go into its 3rd year, man, I'm just, you know, I'm proud about it, you know, what God allowing us to be able to do and present, you know, to the masses, man, in an offering of healing, you know. So, man, I appreciate you guys for your continuous support of me.
Yes, sir.
I also appreciate you guys for allowing me, you know what I mean, to lean on you. You know, I'm not going to never feel as though or preach that, you know, a one-man army. You can go ahead and stretch your own self. I ain't doing it me no more. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so those divine counterparts are needed in life.
You know what I wish we had, and I was kind of looking into it for this weekend. As if we had like a blow up something, whatever they use, like the beanbag things or whatever, so we could all trust fall. I would love to see. And we did it at our youth retreat when I was younger. I was like, man, I would love to see all these men just really let go and fall back.
I mean, what you got to, first of all, let's think about the weight, the size.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You know
like,
what I'm saying?
they have joints for it. I'm just saying that would have been dope to have, you know, something for us to do that, or, you know what I mean?
I mean,
But
it's as easy as doing blindfolds and just having different voices and finding that voice leading to it.
can't give up the goods.
I know.
Right, try to sneak one in there, but I mean, no, but yeah, man, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Well, man, we appreciate you guys for tuning in to this episode of the Trainsition Talk Show, which is 51. 2 weeks ago we had the celebration for the 50th episode. So appreciate you guys for tuning in so long and really, rocking with me as long as you've been rocking with me. Tell somebody else, to tell somebody else, to tell somebody else, man, and help us make this thing as great as it could potentially be. We'll see you guys next week.
All right, peace.
Yes, sir.
When you light up, yeah, lights all over
I know it seemed like I turned my back, but it's far from true. How could I ever turn my back on the chosen few? So what I do, look at me. In a picture was bittersweet. I did it for all y'all, but I never did do it for me. This is not turn on me, you say this is just turning to me. Knowing that I am better than I am. Afraid to look at me, ugly faces is all I got. The pain or horror inside the thing that you keep in the dark. Walking with smiley faces while holding a broken heart. Chambers of locked doors ain't open and kinda rough. Looking at deep wounds and knowing that I've been cut. So I know that I feel the pain, the umbrella in the rain. It's time to let it go and time to sing a different note. I gotta reach this lighthouse to share the